Film. It's kind of made a resurgence these past few years. People love its timeless looks, the options of cameras and different film stocks. They love the slow down and focus on the process. That's something that's taken for granted in the digital age, where you can snap 36 frames before you even really consider your composition.
But there's a problem. I just couldn't fall in love with this medium. And why that's a problem can be explained by restriction and its relationship with art. This is going to get arty-farty for 1 sec, but trust me, it's worth it. See, many artists over the generations have talked about how restriction can actually improve their creative process and improve their work of art. A deadline, a size limit, a color palette, whatever it is, it can help you get better results. For example, the hit Dr. Seuss book, Green Eggs and Ham, was created after his editor challenged him that he couldn't make a compelling storyline with only 50 distinct words. That book went on to be Dr. Seuss's greatest hit. Through the lens of photography, you often see people talking about how they love prime lenses in this way. It restricts them and forces them to use a focal length and make it work within the scene. And they're just absolute horse for bokeh, let's be real. But lying in the analog medium is an even better form of restriction. Quantity of images. 36 images a roll. You have to make do with that amount of photos. In an age of data abundance and the falling cost of storage, it seems trivial to limit how many photos you take when it's so cheap to take millions and millions of photos. When the restriction is how many photos you can actually take, you'll find that every time you take a photo, your focus is heightened. You're thinking about composition every time, thinking about lighting every time. You're thinking, is this the best way I can portray a scene with my given camera? You'll find yourself being more patient, waiting for the good light to happen before you press the shutter, rather than taking 100 photos of the same scene in terrible lighting. Now, how can we act on this in the digital age? Well, for one, grabbing yourself a really small SD card, like a 4GB or an 8GB card, is an option, but many of them don't have the read and write speeds that our cameras need. So the other option is taking your already existing SD card, filling it with junk data in a folder, and that way you can't delete it on field, and just limit yourself to a small amount of photos. It doesn't have to be 36, it could be 8 images, it could be whatever. But do this as an exercise to get better in photography, to think more about your compositions. I know for me personally, I'm a criminal overshooter. I can easily shoot 36 photos before I even properly consider my composition, which is terrible. I really should be more thoughtful when I'm taking photos. But if you're the opposite, you're a criminal undershooter. You come back home and you don't think you have enough images. Make it so that you have to take a certain amount of photos before you can even put it into the computer. Now, I've been experimenting with this over the last few weeks, and I found it's really helped. It really forces you to think more, especially if you want to go that extra mile and pair it with a vintage old manual focus lens, which makes you slow down and think about the process even more. Now, I'm not saying that you need to do this for every photo shoot. That would be ridiculous. Use it as an exercise for when you've been to a location a million times and you're kind of bored of it, but you need somewhere to go. Force yourself to think out of the creative norms and be a little bit more focused on the process, rather than taking the same composition you may have taken 20 other times because this is your local location that you always go to. I just want to note off the top here too, I'm not digging your choice of media. If you love film, go for it. I wish I could love film because there's so many different camera options, so many film stock options. I could be way more of a camera nerd if I was a film nerd as well. I'm not digging the medium. I'm just trying to be more intentional with my photography when I'm out and about. A great photo is a great photo, no matter the medium, no matter the camera, no matter the lens. If it's a good photo, it's a good photo.